I think this is a great lead in, Lindsay, to something that came up earlier on the presentations that both you and Matt provided. And that is ensuring that we can eliminate bias by using AI, right? With AI today, you're telling a machine that these are the things that we want to look for, and then it starts to snowball. How can we, as we start to introduce this intelligence into our PMO practices, eliminate the bias of AI, in your opinion?
I am no expert on this, but one of the things that we had talked about at that day around the table was about this stuff, and this is the ethical side of using AI, and this is where it gets very, quite serious stuff. And I think most of us felt that you really have to understand more about cognitive bias and neuroscience and all of that kind of stuff, which is well out of our remits. We're all, we all know about projects in PMO. We're wandering into areas where potentially this is serious stuff, and I think I don't know what the answer is. I'd be interested to know what John thinks on this, because we'd get somebody in who knows how to do this kind of stuff, because the PMO probably does hold a lot of bias to a lot of their project managers, put it that way. So they're probably not the best placed people to be programming it.
Yeah, and I think Matt even addressed it, and then John, I'd love to get your insight, but Matt even addressed it to where, as somebody that is as technologically savvy and forward thinking as Matt, he said, as much as I love AI, and I'm excited about what it can provide us in data and analytics and drivers to how we operate a PMO, you can't ever remove the human element. I think that there still has to be a human that comes in and digests it. And I think that that's tremendously important. So the education of realizing it doesn't replace it.
Unless the machine can learn and outlearn the person that programmed it, maybe that's it. But it all sounds very science fiction to me.
AI always has. John, do you have any thoughts or insight as to how we might be able to recommend, or how we might recommend eliminating the bias that might be had to AI?
As Mike spoke, he said he's really looking forward to having AI help with the portfolio prioritization. As we know, I'm in charge of Division A, and I'm the 800-pound gorilla. I'm going to demand my projects get prioritized. But with the AI, you'd get subjective data that would say, based on the criteria, the recommendation is the following, taking all the biased subjective data off the table. And as you're saying, in the end, the human still needs to make the decision, but it would be a much more informed decision.
So establish it by setting goals and telling the tools what those outcomes and expectations are, and then taking the objective data that comes out of the tools and applying the subjectivity of a human mind to ensuring that it aligns them in totality. Did we just solve it? We just solved it. Great question, Cynthia. Thank you for that.